Today's topic is about morning routines or creative rituals, depending on kind of how you like to think about it. And I wrote my blog post about it on Tuesday, and so if you're on my email list, you got my email about it. But I thought I would come on live to just talk about a couple of the benefits that I have found over the years from having a morning routine or a creative ritual. And I don't know about you, but I think we're living in very interesting times. And there's a lot of noise, right? There's a lot of noise online. There's a lot of news on TV, a lot of noise on TV. There's actually kind of a lot of exterior kind of drama happening all the time. And having a morning routine and a creative ritual to lean into is a great way for you to focus your attention on something that brings you joy. And I actually discovered Tony Robbins fairly late in my life. When I had my corporate job, I'd never heard of him. But once I started to learn about online businesses and how important your mindset is to your success in business, especially literally anywhere, but especially online, for me as a beginner, one of the things that really struck a chord with me was this expression that Tony uses that's called, what you focus on is how you feel. And I actually really leaned into this during the pandemic, because during the pandemic, when we were all locked down, it was another just complete situation we'd never been through before, right? We'd never had to experience isolation. We'd never had to experience learning how to communicate with each other via Zoom instead of getting together in person. And so that was the first time I realized that what you focus on is how you feel. And so during the pandemic, I really leaned into my creativity because that was a part of my life that always brought me joy. It always made me feel like I got out of bed on the right side of the bed. I know that my morning routine helps me get the day off on the right foot and then continue to help me navigate the rest of the day with the right attitude, with the positive attitude. And so for me, I like to drink a glass of water because I always wake up feeling a little bit dehydrated. And then I throw on my workout clothes and I go for a walk, and unless it's raining. And the good news is it doesn't rain very much in California, so I'm pretty much able to go for a walk almost every day. And when it does rain, it's kind of a nice little treat because I don't have to go for my walk. But I like to go for my walk because it gives me the exercise and it allows me to get out into the fresh air. And it also allows me to lean into the changing seasons. And even though I live in California, there are some changes that occur, especially in the springtime when trees start to bloom and different flowers start to bloom. And having an opportunity to just take a walk and really quietly and just look around me is a great way for me to start my day. And then when I come back, I get to reward myself with a delicious cup of coffee with a little bit of half and half. And I sit down at my kitchen table with my notebook and I do some little doodling, some little sketches, some little doodles. I might have taken a picture of a new flower or of a bush or maybe of some ferns during my walk. And I might use that picture that's on my phone as inspiration for my little drawings. And in the blog, I shared two resources with you that I really like. One of them is my Canson 7 by 10 inch mixed media note sketchbooks. They're a spiral bound sketchbook that you can open up and lie flat, and I'm left-handed. And so it's really important for me to not have the spiral binding in the wrong place because I'm left-handed. And then I also love these Molotow fine liners. There's a set of 11 of them, and that allows me to get a very different line weight in my doodles. And then when I bring it into Adobe Illustrator and I image trace those doodles, I get that different line weight, which creates more kind of interest and sort of sophistication in my work. So tell me in the comments if you have a morning ritual, or perhaps you have had one in the past. And from time to time, of course, we let these things lapse. And maybe this is a good time for you to revive it. Now, the other thing I love to talk about, and that I've also done from time to time, but then frequently lapse and stop doing it, is morning pages. And morning pages are another way for you to start your day, where you take a journal and you just free form write whatever's in your mind over 3 pages, to fill 3 pages. I didn't make this exercise up. This is an exercise that has been out there for over 30 years, that was started by Julia Cameron. And Julia Cameron wrote this incredible book called The Artist Way. But she talks about morning pages as your spiritual windshield wipers. You're wiping clean kind of what's in your mind before you start your day. And I absolutely love that. And I've done it in the past, and I sometimes go back to those notebooks to see, well, what was I thinking back then? And it's not intended to be sort of something that you would publish. It's really just intended to help you kind of get started in the day and kind of empty your mind of all of the thoughts that we have a tendency to carry around with us all the time, and especially in the morning. I do think it's important to pick a time of day that works for you. It helps me in the morning. But other people like to have a reset right around lunch. Or some people like to have a reset in the mid-afternoon, like tea time. And others like to have a reset around their creativity or a ritual actually right after dinner, if they're more of a night owl or a night person. So thinking about what suits you best is important, because it helps you do it more often. Reflect and adapt. So if something's not working for you, or you're getting a little bit bored, you want to make sure that you switch things up, right? Switch things up. It's always lovely to see you. And for those of you who are watching the replay, I hope that you found this enjoyable and valuable. It's always fun to come and chat with me on Wednesdays, come rain or shine, unless I'm on an airplane. I'm here Wednesdays at noon. And I always like to say in closing that I am Anne La Follette, and it's never too late to create. Bye for now, and I'll see you next week.